Is it possible to run faster with less effort? Well, yes, it's something elite and pro level runners have mastered, and the good news is that you can as well. So what's their secret? How can we run smoother, faster, run longer, and make our runs just overall feel a lot easier? Well, stick around because we've got all that coming up, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you should be doing. The first thing we can be working on is improving our running form. If we can improve our running form and move more efficiently, we'll get from point A to point B using a lot less energy. More advanced runners often look so relaxed as if they're just gliding along. So how have they worked at achieving this? Well, I've got 5 ways here that will really help you. The first one being is improving our cadence. Now, running with a higher cadence will really reduce the amount of force coming up through your legs. Beginner runners are usually running around about 150 to 160 and would greatly benefit from increasing their cadence a little bit more up to the 170s, 180s sort of mark. The simplest way of starting out on your cadence journey is by using a metronome. You can then set the cadence you want and it will tap away in the background as you run along, and you can time your strides, monitor it, and then have a look after you're on as well on Garmin or on Coros, again, whichever app you're using. And then you can monitor that over time and gradually start to increase it. Don't go for big chunks, just gradually work at increasing it. We've got a video all about how to improve your cadence. I'll link to that up here and at the end of the video and down below. We will also want to be improving our body position and leaning from the ankles. A forward lean is how advanced runners use gravity to help propel them forwards. The best way you can practice doing this is by stopping your runs and then just leaning into it. In my early days of running, I used to do this all the time, just for the first like 500 meters of a run, just constantly stopping and starting, just leaning forward and starting running like that. Your body will naturally go into that nice forward lean, and then you can just relax, stop, and do it again. And just repeating this all the time will really help. You don't have to do this on all of your runs, but maybe just a couple of your easy runs throughout the week just to practice. Also, we want to really be working on our core muscles. Doing things like bridges and planks will help build that strong core that we need to support all of our upper body as it rotates and it keeps our arm swings in check. Because all of this, if you haven't got a strong core, all of this going on, it's just wasted energy. We also want to make sure our feet are landing nicely underneath our center of mass. The foot strike doesn't matter as much. A midfoot strike, heel strike, forefoot strike, it's not as important. What is important is making sure it lands nicely underneath our center of mass. This will be the best place for our body to efficiently absorb the impact and to maximize that energy return to spring forward. Quite often people will overstride and overreach. You're just constantly creating that braking force every time you run, which is just a complete waste of energy. You don't want to be applying the brakes. Bring that back and we'll be able to move across the ground in a far, far more efficient way. And I've got 2 other simple things we can be doing to improve our form. The first one is strides. Long-term viewers of the channel know I talk about this all the time. They're absolutely fantastic. Quite simply, 20 seconds of really fast running, 90 to 95% effort here, with about a 20 to 30 second very relaxed, chilled recovery between each stride. I'd really recommend 4 to 6 strides. Put these maybe after one of your easy runs during the week. You can even do them during one of your easy runs as well. It's very hard to run this fast with bad running forms. It really helps train the brain to get ourselves moving in a far more efficient way. The final one being hill reps. Now hear me out, because hill reps are really, really good. Yes, of course, they're hard work, but they really help promote a really good foot placement, again, nicely under that center of mass, and really helps improve our strength as well. They get you really strong and moving in a nice way. Strength training, something I've personally been doing a hell of a lot this year, and I'm really starting to see the massive benefits in my own running as well. The stronger that our muscles are, the more force we can put through them, and therefore run further without tiring out quite as quickly. Now, this doesn't have to mean lifting huge weights. It can simply be doing some basic exercises at home without the need for any equipment. Just things like doing some squats, lunges, calf raises, all really good for that leg strength. And then things like planks and bridges as well will really help to improve our core, which I've talked about earlier, be really good for supporting that upper body. So I'd recommend picking a few of these different exercises and putting together a little circuit for around about 20 minutes is a really good starting point. 4 exercises, 1 minute for each exercise, 4 to 5 rounds of this with just a minute rest between each round. I'd always recommend tagging these onto your easy run days and make sure you keep your rest days as complete rest. That's when our body's adapting, absorbing everything we're throwing about it. So you need to keep your rest days as rest days. Add the strength work to those easy run days. We also do have a strength guide which integrates into all of our training plans, which you can see on our website. Whatever distance you're training for, check out benparks.com and add on that strength training option if you want a complete guide on how to integrate this with your training. Thirdly is all about improving our running fitness. Now this may seem like a really obvious one. The fitter we get, the faster we'll get running at the same sort of effort level. But how do we work at improving our running fitness? Well, quite simply, this is by doing some speed sessions during the week. A couple of really good ones, 4 to 6 times 3 minutes at around about our 5k pace with a 2-minute walking recovery. 3 to 4 reps of 5 minutes around about our 10k pace with a 2-minute walk recovery. Or perhaps try a pyramid session. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. These numbers represent minutes of running fast, around about our 5 to 10k pace for these with a 90-second walking recovery between the reps. Now doing sessions like this will really help improve that VO2 max, improve our running fitness overall, but it also does add a lot of stress to the body. So it's really important for the rest of the week to be doing a lot of our easy miles and at least making sure we're having 1, maybe 2 full rest days during the week. Now warming up before you head out on your run is so important, especially as we get a little bit older, and another way to definitely make those early stages of that run feel a hell of a lot easier. So make sure you're taking that 5 to 10 minutes to warm up properly before you're heading out the door, mobilizing our joints with some dynamic stretches. We've got a really good follow along video, I'll link to that up here and down below as well, and then easing into that run really nice and gradually. That first couple of Ks should be nice and relaxed, a lot slower than what we want to be doing for our whole run. Then once you're up to speed, you'll feel far more relaxed and using a lot less effort. Another thing that can make running feel really hard is when you haven't fueled or hydrated properly beforehand. Now a lot of people when they start out running either eat far too much just before they head out and they're going to feel very sluggish and slow, or they don't have enough and then they're going to feel very sort of weak and risk the chance of getting dehydrated. So I'd really recommend is having a small snack or something around about 30 minutes to 1 hour before heading out, and also avoiding the hottest parts of the day as well. You can be running at exactly the same pace that you'd usually be running at, but your body is going to be having to put a lot more effort into keeping you at the pace that you want to be running at. So make sure you're heading out in the mornings or in the evenings. Make sure you're getting nicely hydrated with some good fuel on board before you head out as well, and then you'll be using a lot less effort running at the pace you want to be running at. Now I wasn't sure whether to put this one in the video, so let me know your thoughts down below all about Supershoes, these carbon plated Supershoes that burst on the scene around about sort of 6-7 years ago. And now pretty much every pro, so many amateur runners are going out and spending vast amounts of money on these shoes in the hope that they can be using less energy to run from point A to point B. In all of these shoes, they have these carbon plates that run throughout the whole length of the shoe, or some of them they have nylon plates. And these plates help to propel us forward with each stride. And then they have this huge chunk of foam in there as well to help protect the legs from that impact, so our muscles will be fatiguing a little bit less. Nike's famous 4% shoes, I had my orange ones, I'll put those up on the screen now, claim to improve times by as much as that, 4%. So for a 4-hour marathoner, they can be looking at a 10-minute improvement, going to a 3-hour 50. So why wouldn't you want that free speed? Will you automatically just run faster by just putting on a pair of these shoes? Well, it all depends. In reality, a lot of these benefits are far more prominent in faster runners. And a lot of the studies, they define faster runners by anyone running 4 hours or less for the marathon. But anyone can see these small improvements by wearing a super shoe compared to their regular shoe without a doubt. So why wouldn't we go about wearing a super shoe every day? Well, they do have their downsides. They're very, very expensive for a start. They're uncomfortable. They tend to not last very long. And they're also not very versatile. They really are only good at races and during our speed sessions as well. And the body can become a little bit too reliant on technology, and we can actually sort of lose strength or not gain as much strength as we could by running in some more regular shoes. We'll link to an interesting article down below about why doing all of your runs in Supershoes really is not the best idea. But without a doubt, for the vast majority of people doing our races in these new-fangled Supershoes, amazing things, if you've got the cash to do it and you can afford to do it, they are going to make a difference to our running time by literally doing, as this video says, moving from point A to point B, using less energy. Let me know down in the comments, have Supershoes made a big difference to you? I'd love to know. But with all of this, for me, the biggest improvements can be made by correcting our running form, which is where I'd personally recommend that you spend a lot of our efforts. That is going to give you some really good long-term gains in running, hopefully also decrease that chance of picking up injuries as well. So let me know how you get on with all of these tips. If you've got some other ones, let me know down in the comments and help out the running community. We've got 2 different videos coming up next, one all about improving our cadence and one all about mental tricks to help you get out there and run a little bit longer as well. So check those out. Keep on working hard, guys. Keep on getting done. We'll see you very soon in the next one.